The September team brief comes from Buckingham Row, and I'm in Suite 1 with the Business Intelligence team. And soon I'm going to be meeting the Head of Business Intelligence, Mark Singleton. As usual, I'll be asking him 3 questions. First of all, how many reports a year does the Business Intelligence team generate? Secondly, which member of staff has won a national award for a children's novel? And thirdly, which member of staff danced with Anton Dubek and got thrown in the air by him? The corporate objective this month is about meeting targets, financial targets and performance targets. At the midpoint of the year, it's good to report that we're achieving all of our performance targets except one, and that's A&E, where we're just shy of the 95% target and we're at 94.6%. On the financial front, again, we are meeting most of our targets, but not the year-end surplus, where we've got a budget of 3 million, and at this point we're only expecting to achieve 1.5 million. It was quite a good month for our main measures of infection and safety, because we had no cases of MRSA or C. diff or MSSA, and just 2 cases of E. coli. We also got our latest mortality figure, which was 90.9 for May, taking the year-to-date figure to just 75.7, which really is excellent. And you can see here on the C. diff chart just how well we're doing, because the red line is this year compared to the purple and green lines of the previous 2 years. So that's an excellent performance. Here again to update you is the latest graph on mortality, and you can see the latest month of 90.9 on the right here. And in terms of our overall harms, it would have been a very good month, except for the fact that unfortunately we had another of those never events, which is very serious indeed. Beyond that, there were the 2 infections, and then there were 0 of everything else. So no hospital-acquired pressure ulcers, no serious falls, no ventilator-associated pneumonia, and no central line infection. So a total for the month of just 3. We're very keen to achieve new levels of safety, and something we're going to trial is a process called TalkSafe. Now, this is something that we have borrowed from other industries, and it's a structured series of conversations with staff which identify possible causes of things going wrong. Now, we're going to train some staff to do this, and we're going to test it in October on the medical admissions unit and on Loughton ward. And if it works well, we're certainly going to spread it out elsewhere. Being in the Business Intelligence Department gives me the opportunity to show their giant mission control screen, and you can see here our A&E performance. And what this shows is that we are firmly in the middle of the pack for the A&E departments in Greater Manchester, but we are catching up fast, not just on the trusts above us, but also on the 95% target. And I'm hoping that next month I can show you a better position. Unfortunately, the financial situation continues to get more difficult, and our deficit to date is £1.9 million, with the usual pattern of income being slightly above plan, but expenditure being more than £2 million above plan. Our CIP performance is excellent, because we're still ahead of plan after 5 months, and our capital expenditure at 4.8 million is also on track. But the overall position gives us a reduced risk rating of 3. Moving on now to service and site, and the new build at Wrightington continues at great pace, and it's now up to the stage where the floors are being put in. So everything is on target to be ready to open for patients in February 2016. The other report is on the endoscopy visit from the JAG inspection, which took place at both Leigh and Wigan, and we are expecting shortly to receive the written report, which is going to require us to do further investment on the Wigan site, although the Leigh site got the most excellent feedback. The Healthier Together formal consultation has now come to an end, and the great news is that out of 12,000 responses received, over 3,000 came from Wigan. And indeed, you can still submit responses, because they are keeping what they call the postbox open until the 24th of October. So if you've not done so already, please respond to it and vote for options 5.1 and 5.2. Now, alongside the formal consultation process, we've had many months of talks with our colleagues in Bolton and Salford, and I'm pleased to say that we've come up with an alternative approach to implementing Healthier Together, but in a way which will protect local services much better. So this is going to be what we call a partnership of equals between the 3 trusts, where none of us will be called local or specialist, and we will reorganise some of the services between us in a way that the quality will be the same for all and will improve for all. It's going to be a long time before we know for sure whether these proposals will be accepted, but at this stage I'm very optimistic. October always means Stoptober, in other words the month where we encourage staff to stop smoking. This year we've got help available from the cessation team on extension 3347, and if you're successful in stopping for 28 days, then you'll be entered into a draw and you can win £100 worth of vouchers. So please do participate in this year's campaign. Now it's great to announce many more success in the national awards. The Trust has been shortlisted for 4 national awards in relation to patient safety, improving social responsibility, Dr. Martin Farrier as the Clinical Leader of the Year, and we're also in the shortlist for the overall Provider Trust of the Year. Our Healthcare Estates team has been shortlisted as Team of the Year, and Mary Fleming is shortlisted as the North West Leadership Academy Emerging Leader of the Year. But of course I couldn't miss out the fact that I am in the Business Intelligence Centre and they have won Excellence in Informatics accreditation from the North West Information Staff Development Network. So that's lots of congratulations to pass around to everybody. And to round off the mood of congratulation, the endoscopy team is the team of the month. Endoscopy has been under massive pressure for very many months with increasing demand and restriction of supply, and that team has been our front in speaking to patients, and they've done a tremendous job of dealing with people who are anxious and under pressure. So well done to the endoscopy team, and that's the end of the team brief section. Here I am now with Mark Singleton, who is the head of the Business Intelligence Department. He's only been with the Trust a relatively short time, but in that time he has taken the department to new heights. So, Mark, tell me, what are the main functions of business intelligence?
Business intelligence is split into 2 different functions. We have an analytics services, which is responsible for doing the statutory returns to the Department of Health. They submit information to our commissioners and other external bodies, but they also produce our statistics and forecasting and other ad hoc analytics. The second side of our department is our development team, who are responsible for the development and maintenance of the Trust data warehouse, but also produce interactive reporting and dashboards throughout the Trust.
I see. And what are the main problems and pressures that you face?
The biggest Achilles heel of the department is providing good intelligence leads to growing and large demands on our service, which we have to prioritise at a Trust level and see where our time is best spent for the Trust and what we put our energy into.
I see. And what are you most proud of?
The thing I'm most proud of is both the team and the service and how it's developed over the last 12 months. The team has been working very closely with the Trust's clinical services to better understand the business and to be in a better position to be able to provide them with more meaningful intelligence to support their decision making and their actions.
And is there any personal story you want to add to that?
The only personal story that I can think of off the top of my head is that I've been here now 12 months working for Wrightington, Wigan and Leigh. It's been a challenging first year, but a very enjoyable one at that.
And now for the 3 quiz questions. First of all, how many hits per year are there on the reports that are generated by your team?
Our interactive suite of self-service reports has 250,000 hits per year, and that's on top of any ad hoc reports that are created outside of that environment.
And secondly, which member of your staff has won a national award for writing a children's book?
Lynn Norving won the People's Book Award.
And finally, which member of your staff is a ballroom dancer and has danced with Anton Dubek and been thrown in the air to the point where her skirts got into disarray?
That was Natalie Marshall, one of our BI developers. I wasn't there at the time, but it's the story that I have heard.